So I was shopping for sweaters, and I wasn't even.
This is when your life was shit, right? You were living in South Pasadena.
No, actually, this is before. This is when my life was good.
Oh, okay, right.
This is the good stuff. This is So I was okay. So I was on my way somewhere, and I had a friend who's at Thursday Promenade, and I was gonna drive through Santa Monica, and she was like, "Why don't you stop by and say hi or whatever, we'll have food or whatever." So I contacted her. She goes, "I'm at Urban Outfitters. Come in." So anyway, so we were just like gabbing at Urban Outfitters. We were like looking at t-shirts. We're just like, it was Friday night. We're just gabbing.
And trying stuff on.
Yeah. And they have like big mirrors, there.
So you have to try stuff on.
I mean, you have to try things on.
Yes.
I mean, they are trying to get you not to go into the dressing room.
Yes.
Because they have those big mirrors and they're playing disorienting pop rock music. And it
is their fault.
It's their fault.
Wow.
It's too brightly lit. It's almost like you're on
casino.
acid or
It's like a casino.
It's a casino. It's a casino. They might as well
They pump oxygen in there.
They pump oxygen. Exactly. I'm so glad you get it. It was not my doing. And so I try on a sweatshirt. Actually, it's very similar. This is not the sweatshirt, but it's very similar.
You stole this one too?
No, I did not steal
okay,
this one.
okay.
This one I bought with my hard-earned cash. Although I just moved and I bought this one crying, but I can tell you about that later. Mental note. Tears. This is a magical unicorn sweatshirt. But so anyways, I put it on and I said to her, as we do, I said, what do you think? Do you like it? She was like, yeah, I like it. And I was like, oh, I can't decide, whatever. So I was just wearing it. I thought I'll just keep looking and I'll think about it. And then if I want it at the end, I'll buy it. Anyways, I forgot I was wearing it. And mind you, there's an enormous white tab. I mean, it's like, the thing that...
Like mini pearl. Like a giant tags hanging off your shoulder.
That huge like plastic white thing that they have to like
the alarm
professionally remove.
Yes,
you know what I mean? It's not like... So anyways, so we're gabbing and stuff. And then we're like near the exit or the entrance. And there's like a book of these like sex books with poses. We're giggling, we're laughing, we're reading it. And then all of a sudden she's like, I'm hungry. Let's go get sushi. So I was like, oh, great. And we walked. It was beep, beep, beep. And I looked down and I'm wearing the sweatshirt. So I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So I unzip it and they're like, no. And there's somebody there, like a security person. They're like, you have to go downstairs. And I was like, I love basements, but I was like, in LA, you never see basements. I was like, didn't even know they were there.
We don't have them.
A trap door or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, but it's just an accident. I mean, honestly, you'd have to be crazy to try to steal a sweatshirt with a huge white I mean, I think criminals are smarter than that.
Yes.
They cut it off, or they
or they have them to remove it, then they don't pay them or something.
Or they pick, I don't know, but this not, I mean, I didn't go to Amherst, but I
went to Bard. It's all right.
Pretty high IQ. And I know that because I didn't learn to read at the right time. So I had to go see a therapist and he said I had a very high IQ. There was no reason why I didn't know how to read, but that's a longer conversation.
So the sweater's on. They're taking you downstairs.
So they take me downstairs. Oh, it was just a terribly frustrating experience. So, I mean, I think whatever, people who go to jail and who are black and people of color and all this stuff have this experience all the time. But a white privileged person does not have the experience all the time that when you tell the truth, you're not believed. Mostly when I tell the truth, I'm believed. But anyway, so...
I don't believe you.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I don't believe it. You don't believe me.
All right,
that's the privilege of
being white.
We can both be like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And nobody goes to jail or gets beaten. But
you go to the basement.
So I go to the basement, and there's pictures of all the shoplifters on the wall. Oh, there's a girl who's like 16 or something. She's crying because she had, like underwear that she had hidden in her purse. They, like thongs or something. And she's crying and they go call her mother, to tell her what happened and to come get her, you know? And she's going to go home, this little thief.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe call my mom?
Right.
Because why am I going to jail? I didn't steal the thing.
Yeah.
It's an accident. that girl, that was not an accident. Those thongs, that was not an accident in that purse.
They didn't jump in her purse.
They didn't jump in her purse.
No.
Anyways, so I was like, it's an accident. And he was like, how is this an accident? And I was like, so I told him, I was like, I'm spacey. Like, ask any of my friends. Like, look in my purse.
You told me last time you had a bunch of shit going on in your life at that time too, didn't you?
I'm sure I did. I've always had a lot of shit going on in my life too.
But you were starting to go to meetings and things. And
I was on my way to my very first Al-Anon meeting.
Interesting.
Yeah, my unconscious was like, no. You want to heal?
No, thank you. Not me.
No. I know how to like really put an obstacle in my way. But
well done.
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. I can get things done when I want to. So I was like, I was looking at my bag. I was like, I have sand in my bag. I have like, check stubs. I have like things to like put up a towel rack. Like I'm not organized.
Are you a carpenter or
like I was like, you look at this person. This is not a person who knows she's wearing.
There were no thongs.
Sweatshirt.
There were no thongs.
I
see. You're making the case of how disorganized you were.
Yeah,
you couldn't even carry a purse that made sense.
Yeah, like I'm the kind of person who would walk out.
Yeah.
Wearing a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like pregnant people and me.
Yeah.
Are in the same category.
Yeah.
And
you're too high in progesterone.
They get off for everything. I mean, those
that progesterone
ladies,
makes them crazy.
It makes so he was like, and so he told me that I was too old to be spacey. And I was like, but it was actually really powerful. A friend told me later, he was like, he thought that that the guy was kind of onto something, that like
like maybe this was a message to you. Well, this is a life learning moment.
Well, kind of, that like we could like push this off as like, oh, Claire's spacey, or like actually the truth was that I was dissociative. He was right. It wasn't that I was spacey. There was something really wrong. There's either something really wrong with me,
or I was
lying.
You were dissociating.
Yeah. So he thought I was lying, but the truth was there was something greater than being space cadet.
And the dissociation came from?
I think it just came from. It's really funny in therapy. She's always. I remember for a while she was like, "Were you sexually abused?"
Right.
And I was like, "No." She was like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "So why are you like this?" I was like, I've never wished that I was sexually abused so much. You know what I mean? So at least those guys have a reason.
Make it easy on the therapist, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was right, and then he what? Took you to jail?
So then he took me to jail.
Like jail?
Yeah. They took me to jail. Just classic jail with jail people in there. And they patted me down. They did my fingerprints.
What did your friend do?
She left.
Did she know this was going to happen to you, or?
I don't know. She wasn't like a really close friend.
Clearly not.
She didn't become one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like we were young, and like what was she gonna do? Like sit outside jail?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knew when they were gonna let me out? And by the way, they like didn't give me a phone call. Just FYI, everybody. I hope you all know that they do not always give you a phone call.
Did you ask for it?
I sure did. And it was at night, so they didn't let me out till like middle of the night. And so then I had to like walk to my car by myself in like the middle of Santa Monica. Is the most bougie place you could be. But
so they processed you, put you in a jail cell, and then let you out.
Yeah. And so then I was in a jail cell with homeless people or whatever, drunk people. And and then eventually they let me out. Yeah.
And then you had to go to court and everything?
Oh no, this is actually an interesting story. I went into high gear because I was like, it's one thing if I had like stolen something and I was like, I'm going to take the rap on this,
sure,
like whatever. But I was like, I am not getting something on my record that I did not do. I will not stand for this. So I called a bunch of criminal lawyers and I called Winona Ryder's lawyer.
Mark Argos, my buddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, up north, right? In Santa Barbara?
No, he was the one that Mark got her off the shoplifting thing.
Oh,
I think it was Mark those days. Yeah.
Well, anyways, I've talked to a few people, and basically, so I met with this one guy, in like downtown LA.
And her whole thing too, by the way, women will steal. I think I told you this, when they're coming off opiates.
Oh,
they will compulsively steal as a way to try to feel better in the moment. Yeah.
Poor thing. She had great outfits though. Remember that?
Good
the
actress.
Courtroom, Marc Jacobs stuff. Oh, that headband. Oh, I wanted to go to court just so I could emulate that look. But I still was too pissed that.
So you talked to these lawyers.
Oh, so I talked to this lawyer and he's such a dick. He was like a young lawyer and he barely listened to me. And he was just like, yeah. Like, I don't really care. Like, there's nothing you can do. Literally what we're going to do is like, you're going to go to court.
Make a deal.
Yeah, you're going to pay the fine and you're going to like do whatever. It's going to go on your record. Like, that's how shoplifting works. And I was like, but I didn't take the thing. And he was like, you can't see what I'm doing over the podcast, but I'm going. Well,
there's a video camera here. That's your camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hello. I would have put more makeup on. I thought this was a podcast.
It's a podcast. Did I get tricked? And YouTube.
Did I get tricked?
There's these three things sitting there staring at you.
This is not what I look like. I'm very beautiful.
Yes, you are.
And I have clean hair.
Keep going.
Can't smell me though, huh?
So you went to, you talk to these asshole attorneys?
Oh yeah, I talked to these asshole attorneys. And, but I got a tip. I did get a tip from someone who said, you can't have, the guy up north. I'd reached out to some fancy attorneys. I reached out to Winona Ryder and Michael Jackson. And actually people just call you back. It's wild. And the one thing the guy up north said, he was like a Jackson guy, he said, you want a lawyer who's in the district where the district attorney is. You can't just use a lawyer anywhere. Because you want the lawyer to have a relationship with the district attorney.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense. And anyway, so a friend, actually GJ's girlfriend in high school's mother was a lawyer. She gave me this guy's name. Thank you. So he like listened to everything I said and he took notes. He just like sat there just like taking notes, looking at me, taking notes. I told him the whole story. I said I wanted to hear everything about it. So he looked up at me. He said, I believe you. I was like, oh my God, thank you God. Duh. And he was like, yeah. He goes, okay, what I'm going to do is they got like the footage from the store.
Yeah.
And it just like didn't seem like I was like stealing anything.
Right. You were looking at the stupid sex book.
Yeah.
And then leaving.
Like anyways. And he was like, so basically, yeah, he was like, I'm going to call the district attorney and, we'll get the stuff from the store and, and I'll tell her that I believe you and, and I'll get back to you.
And?
Yeah. He called me up.
That was it?
That was it.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Was it expensive?
Yeah, it was expensive.
Yeah.
But I would rather pay $5,000, which is what I paid, than have something I didn't do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On my record. And what was really ironic is that I was like making really good money at that time. So it's like I could have bought like 5 billion sweatshirts with $5,000.
Right.
Like wasn't even a nice sweatshirt.
Right.